contains several built-in functions to generate random numbers. One such function is random. It is included in the module random. Hence, in order to invoke this function or execute this function or call this function, you should write the statement as random.random. Almost all the random functions are included in the module random. Hence, in order to call those functions, the statement must be written as module name random dot name of the respective function. Random function returns a random decimal number or a random floating point number greater than or equal to 0.0 and less than 1.0. Hence, the possible outcomes are 0.0 or 0.1 or 0.01 etc. less than 1.0. So your n points to any of these decimal numbers. You cannot predict the exact decimal number that n points to because it is randomly generated. Consider the statement n is equal to random.rand int a comma b. Your rand int returns a random integer between a and b, both inclusive. Consider the statement random.rand int 2 comma 10. Rand int returns a random integer between 2 and 10, both inclusive. Hence, the possible outcomes are 2, 3, 4 etc. up to 10. So your n points to any of these integers. You cannot predict the exact integer that n points to because it is randomly generated. Randrange function returns a random integer between a and b minus 1. Consider the statement random.randrange 2 comma 7. Your randrange function returns a random integer between 2 and 7 minus 1, 6. Hence, the possible outcomes are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Consider another statement random.randrange 7. So if only one argument is given, it is taken as a second argument, and by default the first argument is taken as 0. So this is equivalent to saying 0 comma 7. So your randrange function returns a random integer between 0 and 7 minus 1, 0 and 6. So the possible outcomes are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Finally, consider the statement n is equal to random.randrange 0, 8, 2. Randrange function returns a random integer between 0 and 8 minus 1, 0 and 7 in steps of 2. Which means the possible outcomes are starting with a 0, followed by 0 plus 2, followed by 2 plus 2, 4 plus 2, 6, 6 plus 2, 8 will not appear because 0 and 8 means 0 to 8 minus 1, 0 to 7. So your n points to any of these integers. As I mentioned before, you cannot predict the exact integer that n points to because it is randomly generated. Hence, kindly make a note of this point. Randrange, if the third argument is not given, by default it is taken as 1. Similarly, if only one argument is given, it is taken as a second argument, and by default the first argument is taken as 0.